Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a continuation of our Google authentication mini series, and in this video we're going to create our front end for the authentication with Google OAuth and our backend server. So in the previous video we created our backend server using Express and Nodejs, and then we have this dummy. These are basic endpoint for the server, which runs on port 2000, and this is our endpoint here, port 2000. So let's run our server first. So our server runs on port 2000, which is this. So in this video we're going to create our authentication endpoint and then integrate it with our front end using which is built with Next.js and Chakra UI. So we're going to have host endpoint, and our endpoint is going to be a post endpoint. This endpoint is going to need so let's import passport. Let's import passport, and our passport is our endpoint is going to be /auth. Then we have passport.authenticate, and we are authenticating for Google token. Then setting the sessions to false, and lastly we need to create a middleware, a controller that will handle the final stage for the auth flow. So inside our controller we're going to have Google login as our controller. It's going to be an asynchronous function since we're making a database call. Requests response, then next. So inside this function we will be expecting, this is the point when this is after the authentication flow. This is after passport has authenticated the request and logged in the user to the request body. So we just need to now do a simple check that if the user wasn't authenticated by passport, means that he's not authorized to continue. So we just return rest status 401, stands for unauthorized, then sending an error, user was not authenticated. Now after that, if this is successful, I'm going to get the email from the authenticated user, and I'm going to get the user from the database by that email. So let's import our model. User, find where the email is this, then get the token. Let's import JWT. So we create our JWT, and we're going to just save the user's ID inside our JWT, and we need a JWT secret to bear a screen. So we have JWT secret. So let's add that to our environment variable. So we just say a JWT secret, and then here let's return a result token from the user. So this This ends our authentication process, and we just need to import that particular function here. We have OAuth controller, then get the Google. So we've created our endpoint. This is the endpoint that handles authentication for us. So let's now set up our front end. So I'm going to save all of this inside the API folder. So let's move them inside API folder. Let's run npm install. So I'm going to delete our node module and run npm install again. Good, so our server runs. Let's create another folder for the client. And inside, we're going to now go inside our client. And inside our client, we're going to start our Node.js, our Next.js application. So we will be using this example here. Let's quickly set our Nodejs with Chakra UI. And I want it to run in here. Good, so our app is installed. Setups have been installed, and let's run our server. So this is our new Chakra UI. Let's clean it up. Let's remove the unnecessary code. Just want to have a very simple, minimal application, so we won't be needing this. We import the flex from Chakra UI. Then we're going to say background. I'm going to give it a green 500. Maximum width 800 pixels. Next to line center. So let's see. Good. So that's it. Color white. border, line, center, justify, center. So this is our this is supposed to be our login page. Then I'm going to create the index page. And it's going to have pretty much the same thing, just a few changes. Welcome to good. Good. So let's go back to our login page. And then we're going to install our package that is going to handle our authentication with Google on the front end. And then this package is going to be npm. I'm going to use yarn add. Good. Let's import Google login button. So let me align direction column so that we would have a column alignment for both of them. So let's create a wrapper called Google wrapper, and it's going to have styled flex. It's going to be a flex. Background color white. Google button. Give it a weight of 100%. Display your flex. Color black, and important font weight. So let's do it. Button text is going to be sign up with Google. Then let's look at what we have. Nothing yet, nothing yet. Oh, this is the wrong page, so this is supposed to be here. This is our button. Flex direction column. Have everything well aligned. Going to give a width. Good. So let's But let's set up our environment variable. So inside the client, I'm going to create our environment variable, env. In Next.js we can call it env, either development or production. So we have .env.development local, and we're going to have next public. Let's copy that client ID from our API here. Then next env variable, it's going to be our base URL, API base URL, which is going to be HTTP localhost. Let's go back to this. We have client ID process.env the client ID, and then on success I need it to answer success. So we have that. Then let's also have an error on failure. And on failure, do nothing. But with the success, we're going to have following. So in here we have get the access token, response that token, and then let's set up our access by let's install an access. And we import it here. So down here, I'm just going to create a method. Let me create our Access instance, Access configuration. So we have Access call API call, and it's going to be URL, method, and the body, which defaults on empty object, and then access method URL, which in this case is going to be coming from env next public URL, and I'm going to append our URL there. Then data is the body of our request. So we have this. Now let's call this function here. Let's make our API call by just calling the function like that, and we pass in auth / Google, which is our endpoint, and data is equals to queries. Then we pass in the access, this access token. If that is a success, use the .then, so response, get the response, and inside there, this is where we now get the user coming from our backend and the token. Request.data, response.data. So, and then we now reroute the user to the home page. Use router from next router. So if it's successful, say router push it to the home page, and then this is where I can now set my token to the cookie, to the browser cookie. So I'm going to install a package that will be used to manage our cookies. So Nodejs cookie. Then, so first of all, set the cookie token and token. So that's it. So we have everything set up, and this should work. Let's run our server again. Let's make sure everything is going to work. I'm going to restart the server. Good. So we have our environment variables working. Now let's click there. Redirect URI mismatch. So we have a mismatch of our URI. Let's go back there. Go back to our client. Okay. Make it 3000. 3000 is our frontend URL, so it's supposed to match. That's why we have that error. And then we are good. Now let's refresh, and let's do that again. Let's wait a minute while the changes are being applied. We need to add it here. Good, so no magic, so everything should work. So big E user. Let's see, I think we're logged in. Let's do that again. Let's do it again. So access has been denied, so we have an error somewhere here. Okay. Let's fix that. This is not getting our URL. Next public API base URL. Next public. Okay. Good, so our request was successful. This is the response coming from our backend. We have the token and the user. So our user is logged in and we get redirected to this page. So guys, thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share.